Okay, fine. In today's class, we will see request specification. Right. We will start with the framework. We'll slowly start with how to build the framework. Right. So far, we have seen just a simple request, how to execute, how to validate the response. But in real time, how we need to build the framework. We'll start one by one step. Okay. If you want to find the JSON path, right, just there is a website, JSON path finder. There may be a different websites. If you want to find the JSON path, while validating, we are giving JSON path, ID, name, like this. How to find this JSON path? If you have idea, that's fine. If you are difficult to find the JSON path, I will explain simple way. Take the response. Take the response of any request after executing. You will get it. Open this website, JSON path finder. Just paste it. Suppose now see it will automatically segregate. Suppose I want to find the path for email. It will. X we don't require. X is the inbuilt of this website. We have to give square brackets 0.email. Now, if we want to find out the fourth one, just we have to give square bracket fourth record dot email, gender, status, like this. Suppose we have one more, only one request. Suppose if we are getting specific user. In case of specific user, we will get only okay, resource not found. We need to change the ID. Just will take one more ID. Okay, take this ID, execute, not copy. Okay. Okay, take this response. Same way we can go to this website. Just simplify it. Okay, but when is it reflected? Not reflected. Just refresh it. Okay, now it's directly. Now, if you want, just we need to give directly ID. Right? Don't give the X. Email, female, gender. If we have some other response, I will take some other website so that we'll get some more idea. We will take this response website. Okay, this is one more response. Okay, here we have a different things. If you want a page directly, we can give page. Per page, if you want to give directly, we can give total. Suppose if you want a inside a data, how you will give? Suppose if you inside a data, I want a first record email, then data of 0.email. We have to give like that. If you want support, inside support, you want to get the URL or text. If you just click on it, it will come automatically path. Support.text we have to give. Support.URL. You can take the help of this JSON path finder if you are difficult to find the path. Just we can copy and paste it. Okay, that is one of the website we can. So we will start with the just how to build the util. We will create a one simply in real time. Same structure will be same only. We will create the Maven project and we will add the required dependencies. For REST assured, what are the required dependencies we have added? One is the REST assured, one is the TestNG, JSON data point to convert map to JSON or object to JSON. If you want to convert, it is required. This is the util class. Okay, now we will take just create a one method, one class, okay, API util. Okay, API. Okay, here we will create the one method public. Will return the response. Execute request. Execute request. To execute the request, I need a input. To execute the request, I need a multiple values I require. So I will create a one class called object Pojo class TestData. I will create a class called TestData. So inside a TestData, just mouse over, create the class. Create the class. Okay, TestData. Here Just we will create a like a real time how we will create. We'll create same way Pojo classes. Okay, we'll create Pojo class or Bean class, whatever it may. Okay, Pojo class. Under this, we will create the test data. You can mouse over, you can directly click on create class where you want to create package Pojo under. Okay, you can create test data. For what are the different inputs we will pass? Okay. We will pass, we'll create a private variables. Private, first thing is base URL. Okay, base URL or URL. We will mention it as URL. Base URL. And then path. We require next one is path. That is, we will call it as a maybe request path. Request method. We require a first one is base URL, then path, then method, and then headers. If we have any headers, request headers. Okay, headers we require, and then request body we required. Before this body, we required a request parameters. If we have a request param or path params, we will have a two types of params, path params or request params. Then request body. Okay, request body. What else we require? Headers body params. See, we will enhance. So far, we just require this one. Just we will add it. How to add? We need to add the getter and setters. How to add? Right click, source, generate getter and setters methods. Just select all, generate. Okay, fine. Then come to our API util. Okay, fine. Okay, now see here, first thing. We need to set rest assured dot base URI. We will get the set the base URI. Then next thing is just we'll take the response. Okay, fine. Response as a null. And then we require, we can have a switch case. Either we can have a switch case or before that we will get a request specification object. Request specification. How to get it? Rest assured dot given. Then it will return the object of request specification. Request specification object it will generate. By using this, it is very easy for us to set. Okay, if we have headers, if we want set, we can. If it is not equal to null, just set the headers. Already, okay. Where we need to set headers. Let me check how to set it. rs dot header. If we want to set multiple headers, we can set as a map. We can set as a map. Okay, but how to send this one headers? We have a string parameter request header, right? How to convert this to map? Sometimes we can send only one header or two headers or three headers. For that, right, what we will do instead of string, okay, we will make it as a map. We will make it as a map. Then, okay, string comma string. We'll make it all these request params also. Request params also, it may be more than, we can get more than one. Path params also we can get multiple. We'll see one by one. We'll see one by first. We'll see request headers. Then you will get idea. Okay, we'll remove this. Then generate right click source, generate getter and setters for the map. Then what we will do? We will get the headers. Okay. Directly we can create the object here. Okay, new hash. We'll create object directly instantiate it. Request address. Okay, fine. Now come here. Now we require a headers in the form of map object. Now test data our object dot get a request address. We can set the headers. Now query params. Okay, query params also we can set as a map. We can set as a query params also as a map. Okay, we'll see path params also. I think we can set it as a map. We can set it as a map. See, in real time, we don't know whether request will contain one parameter, two parameter, three parameter. We don't know exactly. So we have to think in such a way that it should work for any type of request. It should in real time. It should work for one request. If you send one, or if you don't send any address also, it should work. If you don't send any parameters also, it should work. If we send a 10 parameters, it should work. If we send one parameter, it should work. We have to think in such a way that we have to write a frame. So we will convert these request parameters also as a map. Okay. Path params. All we will take it as a map only. Okay, fine. And then go to source, generate getter and setters for this. Okay, fine. Now just query parameters. Then we can set test data dot request parameters, test data dot path parameters. Okay, and then what else we require? We set first okay base URL and then headers request method. What is the request method? Request path rs dot. What is this method to set? It has a body content type. Okay, if you have a content type, this is also sometimes important. We need to set the content type also. We'll see that. rs dot base URL base path body. Okay, config this form parameters. Base dot path options param query parameters. Okay, where is that? Okay, here directly we are using get post delete, right? Okay, fine. Then in that case, we will see that only. Okay, content type. We need to add one more private string content type. Okay, generate. You can mouse over and you can create a generate get a setter and method. get run setter methods, and test data dot get content. Okay, once we get this, then rs dot body. Okay, body. Then rs dot log. If you want to log request log all, then we can have a like this. We have to post it any type of request. We need to get the request method. If it is a get method, execute rs dot get. What is the request path? What is the request path? And then response. And then if it is a post, rs dot post. If it is a put, rs dot put. If it is a delete, rs dot delete. What it will return? It will return the response. So we have to return response object. Okay, simple. What we have done, just created one project class, and then we will call this execute request, and then we will set all the data from this object to, we are preparing the request object here. Right. One is the base URI and get the rest issue dot given. We will get the request specification object. In request specification, we will set the content type, headers, path param, query params, and then body. If you want log all, and then response execute based on the type of method. Get method or post put delete. Based on that, you can execute rs dot get post put delete. Okay, fine. Just for now, just we will execute and see this one. Okay. Now, actually, in real time, we will write this. This is like a framework code. So we will not write under SRC test Java. In real time, what we will do, we will write it under SRC main Java. Under SRC main Java. Here we will create a package rest assured. Okay. Under rest assured, we will move this API util to rest assured. Okay, we will not keep this here. And also this project classes also we have to move here. Okay, move this project class here. Okay, then delete from here. Okay, fine. Now each method when you are writing, it's better to have a documentation. Documentation of the method, what it will do. Execute a REST API request based on the provided test data method. It has a parameter test data. It will return the response. Okay, then once it is done, now come to our API test. Suppose I want to execute the same, this one. I want to execute this one. We'll create one more instead of okay, API test. So, okay, fine. We'll take only one. We'll remove. We'll remove all. Okay, we don't require this also. Okay, now get users test. How to execute this? Okay, fine. Now we have to create the API util object. API util object. But if we have a multiple test cases, we require only one-time creation of the object API util. So we can create API util object in before test. Before test, we can just do the okay setup. Okay, create the API util object here. If you create like this, what will happen? It is not visible to other classes. What we have to do? We have to create as a instance variable. We have to create it as an instance variable, initialize in the before method. Okay. Fine. Now we are creating the get users test. Okay, just to provide the description for each test case. It is the right. We have to give the description for each and every test case. What this test case will do. Now we have to prepare first. If you want to execute API util dot execute test data, we require a test data object. First thing we have to prepare this test data object. For that, what we have to do? Test data object, create the test data object, and then we have to set what is the base URI, what is the base URI, what is the method, then what is the path, where we are sending. Okay, request path we are getting. Okay, here we are sending. Okay, path and then request method. Okay, fine. We will get the response object. We'll get the response object. We'll go slowly one by one. Okay, fine. Okay, what we are doing? Just we are sending the this one. That's it, right? That's nothing. Okay, we'll try to execute and see is it working or any issues we are getting. Okay, fine. Run it. Okay, we are getting some error. What is that? Content. I think we did not set content type. Set content type. Where we are reading here. Okay, get the content. Okay, we'll see. So initially to build the framework, we'll get some issues. We have to fix those things. Body cannot be null. Right. Why I am telling, right? You will learn if I tell like this. Otherwise, I can create and I can come and explain everything. But you will not get if I explain like that. If I already created and explained. So I am in front of you. I am creating so that you will see what are the issues you will get, how to resolve it. Okay, now we are getting illegal element body. Get request will don't have a body. So if it is, we can add a null condition. If test data not equal to null, we can have a null not equal to test data dot request body. Not empty, not null. We can check both. Okay, open and close. If it is a single line, we no need to give, but it's better to give so that we can, it will be a very neatly arranged. Okay, now we will execute it again. We'll see what else we will get. Okay, it started request. Okay, fine. It's executed successful. It is executed. Up to until request, we have created one reusable method. Just we have created some execute request, or you can make it as a execute API request or anything. We can give some meaningful name. Okay, for this, what we are doing, we are sending the test data object. Still, we have to revert it. These data we need in real time. We will not hardcode it mostly. We will get it from some Excel file or JSON file somewhere. We need to read that file. We need to set that data to test data, and we need to send it to this method. For now, just we are starting step by step. So we have created one project class. We have created what are the required parameters? Base URI, request path, and then request method, address, parameters, path params, request body, content type. If you require more, we can enhance this. So until this is fine. Now, how you will do the validation, response validation? Just we are executing the request only. Right. How to do that validation? Validation part we'll see slowly. Now we will do it with the post request. Same thing we will do for the create user. We will do step by step. So, okay. Like void create user. Create a user test. Create a user. For creating user, what we required? We required a body also. We required a body. So base URI, okay, fine. Request path is just we required until user. Method is the post. Content type is this one. And then we required a TestData dot body. We required a body. Body either we can get it from, we have learned how many ways. In real time, how we will get it mostly from the files. We have to create the, right, we have a already request here. We will read this file. We will read this file. How we have, what is the code we have written? File utils. Okay, where is that code? Okay, this one. Okay. We need to read the data. We'll see how to enhance this one. Oh, okay. We are reading only this file now. Just inside request, we have a dynamic parameter email. Just we have given like this dollar. So we are replacing with a dynamic email. We are generating the email and replacing it. We got the request. Then we will send this request. Send. We need to read the data from the file and convert to string. Pass that. Okay. Then what else we required for the create? We required a header authorization. We required this authorization also. But authorization, how to create? We need to create a map object. Right. Headers dot put authorization. Key as the authorization. This is the value as the token. Bearer token. We have to give token. Then we have to set that TestData dot set address. That map object we need to set. Okay, fine. I think it's fine. Now we will try to execute. Okay, it's working fine. It's executed successfully. See, once we create a reusable method, it's very easy. Just we need to set the data, call the method. That's it. Set the data, call this. Simple. Okay, now we'll see validation also. Right. Not only request, we require a validation also. We require a method to validate. Public void validate response. Validate response. Okay, for that we want a response. What is the response object we require? And then we will send a test data. In test data, we will add a, in test data, we will add private, what is the expected status code? What is the expected status code? Create get run setter methods. Okay, now come to our test case. Okay, if response not equal to null, if response is null, just throw new assertion error, anything, exception, you can make it as an exception. You can create your own exception also, user defined exception. Right. We can create our own exception, API exception. Right. Response is null. If it is not null, get the response code, status code from the response.status code. Then from the test data, that get expected status code. If both are not equal to throw again error or assertion error is fine. Right. Here we are doing the assertion. So it is the predefined error. Right. This is our not our error. This is the predefined. Assertion error throw. What is the message? We have to pass it. Expected status code is so test data dot get expected status code, but we got actual status code. What is the actual status code? Okay, fine. Just status code I have verified. We will see how to add response validation of JSON. Those things. Just validate response. Just we are validating status code for now. Then in the first case, we can do API util dot validate response. Just we need to pass it is throwing a checked exception. Just handle it. Just we need to call these two lines. That's it. If you create a reusable method, create the test data. Tomorrow, if you migrate to Excel or JSON, this data also we don't require. We'll get directly from the data. Only these two lines we have to call. That's it. If we have more complex validation, then we need to write separate. This specific test data additional validation, then we have to write it here itself. So all the things we cannot write a reusable. Some complex validation we can do within the test case itself. Okay, what is the error? There is a 201. I think we did not set expected response. We have to set expected. For first case 200. Second case we need to set 201. Okay, now run it, right click, run as TestNG test. It will run both the test cases. Okay, now it ran successfully. It ran successfully now. Okay, until now, any doubts? Are you able to understand it? Just we have created simple one util class. Here we have created one API request, a simple API request, and then validate response. We'll see in the next class how to add the more validations. All right, if I tell everything in one class, maybe it will not digest. It will go slowly, just practice it. If anyone required this repo, just ping your GitHub IDs, I will provide access. Okay, I have already created a repository. If you require, just ping me your GitHub account. Okay. If no one has questions, we can wind up. Okay, then thanks for joining. Thank you.